Hello everyone, Dr. Stillman here. Today we are going to be talking about everything you need to know about potassium, one of my favorite minerals, has so much therapeutic potential and is in the blind spot of a lot of patients and people because it gets almost no real love from pretty much anybody. Honestly, I'm going to give more love to potassium today than I have seen many health influencers, doctors, experts, both conventional, unconventional, give to this wonderful mineral in my entire career. And I'm going to try and keep it simple because honestly, one of the reasons why it doesn't get as much love as some of the other minerals and supplements and so on and so forth is that it's really not that complicated, but it might just be one of the most important topics. So let's dive in. Now, why don't people tend to figure out that the patient has got low potassium levels? You would think, wouldn't you, if this is such a big deal like I'm making it out to be, that you would have heard about it by now. But this is the sneaky thing about potassium. So potassium, first of all, what's your total body potassium and how big of a deal is this? So this is a really interesting paper from way back before I was born on total body potassium levels in people as they age. And you will see that as they age, their total body potassium levels just drop. You lose about 25% of what you start with from age 20 to age 90. It's an enormous drop. It's even bigger for women. You lose concentration of potassium relative to your height. Now, you do technically shrink as you get older, after a certain point anyway. But even so, your potassium level drops quite a lot. I mean, look at how much that drops over the course of your life. And it's also dropping in relative or adjusted to your weight. So your total body potassium declines as you age. This implies, although I must say it does not prove, that lower potassium levels in the body are synonymous with aging. I will tell you that this, in conjunction with the evidence that low potassium levels and low potassium intake are associated with premature aging and diseases of aging like hypertension and kidney disease and all the other stuff I already mentioned, right? That eating more potassium is a good idea so you keep your levels up so you don't age prematurely and then die young. Very rarely do I mention something like this as this across the board. Everyone should do this. It's critically important. But potassium, because of its participation in the hydrogen bonding network of water and the generation of energy within the cell, is truly one of the fundamental minerals of life and must not be dismissed for its therapeutic importance. All right. How do we measure potassium? Because this is something that really is where people get lost. So potassium, and this paper is a study on measurement of red blood cell potassium. Potassium goes into the serum, your blood, rapidly, and it's taken up by cells rapidly as well. What that means is that somebody who's got potassium deficiency in their body, right, may not have it in their blood. Going back to this table, right, the 20-year-old probably has a normal serum potassium level, and so does the 80-year-old. Now, the 80-year-olds may have a slightly lower potassium, or they may have a falsely elevated potassium because, or an elevated potassium because they've got a kidney problem. But the point is simply this: they're both going to have normal levels of potassium. So what I explain to patients is asking what your blood level is a little bit like asking how much money is in your checking account. You know, the millionaire 2 doors down from you may have as much money in his checking account as the guy who's panhandling on the corner. But these people probably don't have the same net worth, right? Just the same way, virtually everyone's blood chemistry and serum level of potassium is tightly controlled, because if it gets too low or too high, you die. Period. End of story. I mean, it's really that simple. But your body can steal potassium from inside your cells, pump it out in order to maintain that serum level if you get low. That's why keeping it coming into the system is so important and so strongly correlated with longevity and anti-aging. Okay, so how should we judge total body potassium levels? It would be really cool if we could do the kind of studies that they did in this paper to judge what your total body potassium is. I think that would be awesome. They're not doing that, unfortunately. So what's the best NEXT marker that's widely available? It's the amount of potassium in your red blood cell, because that red blood cell's got a membrane just like all of your other cells. And so if the potassium has trouble getting in there and there's less potassium in your red blood cells, it implies there's probably less potassium in the rest of your body and the rest of your cells. So this is a better measurement of your total body potassium than the serum potassium level. If this video has been helpful to you, make sure that you check out my link tree below to find out how you can keep in touch with me best. And if you would like to become a patient at my practice, please apply to work with me at STILLMANMD.com. Thank you again for watching. Have a great day.